and welcome to the Traveling Knitter channel. My name is Steph, and this is my channel where I talk about mainly knitting, but crafting, sometimes travel, and what I get up to in my life. It is another very, very hot day. I think last I checked it was a real feel of 106 or something. So I hate to say it, but I'm ready for fall. I have been a summer person for my entire life, and the fact that I am just not enjoying summer is doing something to me. I have my homemade Thai tea. I love Thai tea. I found this like instant Thai tea. It's like a powder. You just put it in a glass with hot water and then you fill it with ice, and you've got homemade Thai tea at home. It's nowhere near as good as if you get it at a restaurant or if you make it fully fresh. I'll also pardon my eye is super red today, even with the eye drops, because the cat allergies are getting to me. I am 100% allergic to my two cats that I adopted, and I've been thinking about getting like shots or something because the Zyrtec is just not doing it, and my eyes are just itching all the time, and I'm sneezing all the time, but I still love them very much. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. You're here for a knitting podcast. As you can see, the background is still very messy. I'm still trying to figure out how to really organize my craft room / office. When I had moved into, I've been in 3 different apartments in the last 5 years. And so the first apartment I was in was very, very tiny. It was under 700 square feet. They called it a single, but really it was more of a studio apartment because the bedroom had a sliding barn door as a wall, so you could never actually fully be closed because the sliding barn door always let in light, and it's not a wall. And in there I had bought a bunch of white shelves to go along a wall, like basically to go underneath my what is that, like island countertop in the kitchen. And so I had 3 shelves, I think, that I put like my crafts and stuff, and then I put everything under my bed. And then when I moved to the one up, I moved to a second one, that craft room had 2 closets. So one closet I used as storage, and then the other closet, which was basically a double wide closet with just shelves, and I used that for all of my crafts. And I got rid of the white shelves. And so then when moving here, I don't have that. And so unfortunately, I don't have as many shelf space to put my stuff. So I know. I shouldn't just buy more shelves. I should get rid of the stuff. But anyway, we are a couple minutes in, and we're just rambling. So let's get into it. Finished object. I feel like I didn't have this finished last time. If I did, pardon, but I think I didn't. It's my clay sweater. So this is my clay sweater by Ozetta, and the yarn that I'm using is Tupelo yarn in a DK, and it's like a shishiko wool. So it's a brown with a lot of reds in it. And actually, the color kind of hides the texture, I think, on camera, but in person, you definitely see it. And it's so nice. It looks so good. Let me put it on for you. It feels wonderful. I'm gonna take this off immediately. Just looks so nice. So there it is. So okay, so it looks a little weird because my natural hip is up here. So it sits basically the ribbing starts where my hips start. So so for me, this is kind of cropped because I don't know. I don't know why I consider this cropped, but I consider this a little bit cropped. I guess this would be cropped. But I think it sits so well. I think it looks so nice. It has faux seams on both sides and then along the arm. I will say I've worn her once. I wore her to flock. Look at all the pilling. So there's a lot of pilling for this wool. It doesn't bother me that much. And I believe there's like pilling under the arm. Yeah. I noticed it when I was not wearing it, that it looked like my socks when I wear hand knit socks. So off she goes. I have maybe a half a skein left over, and I had purchased 5, I believe. I'm so proud. I'm so happy with the sweater. I think it looks so nice. I made either the size 3 or the size 4. I'll put the info down for what I made. And I cast this on. So the yarn I purchased, I bought at Sacred Sheep, which was a festival in Portland that I went to. I am based out of Columbus, Ohio, so that is an entire day of traveling to get over there. But I went to a festival, Sacred Sheep. I purchased the yarn and I turned it into my advent calendar. And so I had wrapped up a skein of yarn every like 5 days or something to then be working on this sweater. And I just recently finished it. And when I was wearing this at Flock, I had, you know, people admire your sweater. And I was so proud of not just like wearing a hand knit sweater, but also that this was a sweater quantity of yarn that I had purchased and knit up and fully blocked and had a wearable garment within 12 months. Like within 6 months, basically. No, 8 months. That's potentially a record for me. I almost never cast on the yarn that I buy because I just have so much. And purchasing yarn and knitting with it are 2 separate joys. I think almost all of us can agree on that. So there she is. Very pleased. Has already been worn, has already been in maybe photos. I don't even remember if I took any photos with the sweater. Next up, I finished, oh, and I think I have another one of these. I finished, we'll call it a towel, another washcloth. So I'm pretty sure I had shown at least one that I had finished, and I have a second one, and then I have this long one, and I have, you'll see I've already cast on for another one. So this is what I brought with me to Seattle, and I knit pretty much the entire thing while I was there. So it was very, very meditative, very easy, no brainer, took no thought. And I'm excited to have this because this is like usable for makeup and stuff. So that's that. And this is in, I know I was just looking at the ball bands. There we go. This is Lion's brand yarn 24/7 cotton in the Cafe au lait colorway. I purchased this. This is another win. I purchased this at Joann's when they are going out of business, and with the intention of making like washcloth sets for myself. Not for like washing dishes or anything, but for like removing makeup and soap and stuff. Yay! There's just something so exciting about knitting with yarn and using all of it and having like a successful project with intent. Because not everything I make is successful, you know? But this is. So technically I finished another one. And that's that. And lastly, I finished another project. She needs to be blocked still, but I finished my crochet shawl. There she is. Wrap her around. Nice. I did make little tassels. So I'm gonna add a tassel to all of the points, but I didn't want to add the tassel until after I blocked the shawl. So 3 tassels. I broke into the 4th skein. 4th? What am I talking? The 2nd skein. So I did break into the 2nd skein. This is what it looks like. These are Yarnspiration Karen Blossom Cakes in the colorway Cabana. It is this beautiful neutrals. I would love to have like a blanket out of these colors. So pretty. I've talked about it before. Oh, the last time I showed this to you, I was here and I did all of that. Yay me. I talked about it before. I don't love how it's not straight. So I don't know. I've like gonna really aggressively block it. See if that does anything. And then when I wear it, probably just tuck it in. Or wear it like a traditional shawl, like that, which I think looks nice with this as well. So that's that. I've also thought of gifting it, but I don't know. It's nice, but I don't love how thick it feels. So I don't know if other people would like how thick it feels, because you can see, like I could make it, I could have kept going, but the issue was like, this is just gonna get so bulky. And you can see I'm really struggling to put this on. So I need to just block it aggressively so that it gets wider and hope that it wraps around better. Or this is like a contender for a shawl pin, which I've never wanted to have. But anyway, so this is, and I have the pattern up. This is by Repeat Crafter Me, Crochet Karen Big Cakes Moss Stitch Shawl. It's a pattern from 2018 and her name is Sarah. You can find it on Ravelry, and she uses a Karen cake, which is exactly what I did, but hers looks, frankly, it looks like mine. There's no human wearing it. It's just a mannequin. So I feel like probably in the same situation where it's actually not that long. But I think it's still really pretty. I think the colors are really nice. I think the tassels are gonna look extra special on it. And what I plan to do with my leftovers is like a small shawl, like a little mini scarf shawlette kind of situation, which I feel like I'm gonna have leftovers still after that. So then maybe I'm gonna make a headband to match. But my goal is to cast something on pretty much ASAP so that I can use up all of this yarn. And those are my finished objects. And you might be thinking, I thought you were gonna have a tank top finished. Why do I even set goals? I feel like I set them and then I go the complete opposite. Like, I don't think that the shawl was at all in my plans of having finished. So I've got, where is it? I have the Streamline tank right here. So I have the front of the Streamline tank, and then I have the back. Wow, look how far. This is not going to take me long, and I think now that I have the shawl finished, I have a washcloth finish. Again, I cast another one on pretty much immediately, but this is my focus. This is my focus. The Streamline tank, I've got my computer up so I can very quickly check Ravelry. The Streamline tank is by Alexandra Tavel of Two of Wands on Ravelry. And you basically knit 2 panels and then sew them together. I am making some slight adjustments to mine because I don't want my 2 panels to be identical. I would like there to be a front and a back. So the panels, if you can kind of see, they increase out. So your ribbing is less stitches than the body. And this is a split hem. So you'll start sewing here. And then you have the twisted rib in the front, and there's twisted rib on the sides. Can you see that? I ended up doing like fully twisted rib. So in this one, you're supposed to only twist the knits on the front side. I decided that was just more effort than I needed in having to like remember what's the front, what's the back, which I mean, yes, like you can tell, but I was knitting, I don't know. I just was like, I'll just twist everything. Which frankly I tend to do. I just twist everything so that there's no thought. It's just when you get to the ribbing, you're going to twist. So that is what the front looks like. And you see it's got like 2 rows of twist, and then you get up and then it turns to 4 and then it turns to 6. I'm not going to do that for the back. I am going to omit the twisted rib until you get to the very top, and then I'm going to do a very small version of that, and that'll be the back. I was worried I was going to run out of yarn. I absolutely am not going to, because I was able to knit the entire front panel, and then I got to trying to find it. I think I got to just maybe half an inch above the ribbing with the second, or with the first one still. So the rest of this, I will absolutely have enough yarn. I will have some left over, and so I'll have to think about what to do. I might just make like a small washcloth or something with it. We'll see. The yarn that I'm using, where are you? I'm always pulling it out and now it's not here. Oh, there we go. It is Tailored Fibers by Amber Taylor. It is the Eat a Peach colorway. It's 100% combed cotton DK, so 290 yards. And it's from Bowie, Maryland, and my friend got it for me. The stitch marker that's on there was from the last time that I showed it. This is, I think it's a Simply Serving. It's a Homespun House and Simply Serving collab many years ago when she did a mystery socks set over 3 months, and they were all Tim Burton movies. And then I bought this at Seattle because I just think it's ironically funny. They're little boo-boo stitch stoppers. Like, just so weird. Life is weird. I do have the bit of washcloth that I started. I mean, not much to be excited about. There she is. This is gonna be another square. And then whatever is left over, I guess I'll just make a smaller square. I'm not sure. Oh my gosh, I just had an idea. I can combine these. Okay, done. So when I finish this, I'll have to stop because I will not have enough to make a second one. So I will just combine my leftovers together into another washcloth. Exciting. It is so warm in my apartment. Oh, I'm sweating in this room. Ooh. In Ohio, my electric bill has just gone through the roof, and I sometimes I go for days and I turn the aircon off and just have my windows open, but it's been way too hot to be able to do that. A couple, maybe 2 months ago, I think it might have been the first month that I moved into this apartment, I got a letter and an email telling me that my electricity was gonna be more expensive because of AI use, because of ChatGPT, because of all these things. Really what it boils down to is data centers. And I just saw a bunch of articles come out in the last couple of days talking about the data centers and why it's costing Ohio so much money. And I think it's because we have deregulated, I don't know if it's only electricity, but utilities. So the consumer is partially footing the bill for these data centers that have been built in Ohio. Don't quote me on all of this. All I can say is, yeah, my electric bill is so much more than it's been. And yes, it's a new build or a new apartment, but even at the last apartment, I was noticing the prices going up. And you can typically, like, you get a comparison from, like last year, previous month, and yeah, I am one person. Like I said, I have my windows open very often, and I have my AC. The coldest right now my apartment is set to is 72. Normally I prefer like 68 or something, but it's at 72, and I think right now it's at 76. So it's pretty warm in my apartment. And like I said, I'm one person. I don't have the lights on in my apartment right now. There are no lights on in my apartment. My electric bill, and this is a 1,300 square foot, $200. I mean, maybe you might not think that's a lot of money, but $200 for one person not using a lot and traveling is quite a lot. I think back to one year, I was gone for an entire month in the summer. I was gone the entire month, did not step foot into my apartment. I had actually turned everything off. The AC, I think I had set to like 85, like something ridiculous. But I had literally unplugged as much as I could. The refrigerator was the only thing that was going. My electric bill was $3.50. I don't think I could even get down to that if I turned everything off. Like, I just don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's possible anymore. Yeah, so mini rant over, but electric bill pretty high. Okay. Next thing, I did work on this, just not recently. These are a pair of socks that I have cast on a while ago. Look how bright those are. These are using Woolberry Fiber Company Wake Up San Francisco, a Full House colorway, and I think I've gotten like this much done. What are these socks? Oh, these are, oh, hilarious. I even have the book with me, so this is not actually that hard to find. These are the Luis or Luis by Lucia Ruiz de Aguirre Rodriguez. They come in 3 sizes that you can knit. They are out of 52 Weeks of Socks volume 2. I don't love knitting these, have to say. It's not my favorite. The pattern is, for whatever reason, I can't memorize. It's not as poppy as the picture because mine are just a little of a lower contrast. I'm okay with that. I think the colorway together is adorable, and I am so excited to just get to the foot and not have to do this color work. Per the pattern, I have one more repeat to do, and then that's when they did their heel. I'm not sure if that's all I want to do, if I want to do 2 repeats, because this is a bit short, but maybe that's okay. So that's that. This is what I've been bringing with me to knit night, of which I have not gone to knit night in a while, so not as much progress on these. I'll be glad when these are over. So I'm gonna enjoy knitting the foot, but I am not gonna enjoy casting on and knitting the leg again because the color work is not pleasant. It's not horrible, it's not the worst I've ever done, but I'm not enjoying it, and I would not make those socks again. The last work in progress that I'm going to talk about is out of the Sunnisgan Makdadama, which is Knits for Women, and it is the Frankie sweater knit out of Kos. And I am so excited about this because look how, oh no, my stitches. I have to pick up my stitches, guys. This needs a needle stopper, which there were some on them and then they're not on them. I know, great story. Look at that. So awesome. Beautiful. So this is knit out of Sunnisgan Kos. Just like finding bits of my carpet on here. The apartment has really, really shitty carpet, and my cats, when they run around, they rip pieces of the carpet up. So I love that. Love that for me. Love that for my deposit. Although I think I'll get my deposit back because I called out that they didn't put any, so wood floor carpet, there's normally like this metal thing. They don't have that. The carpet's just sitting on top so you can like lift it up, which just means my cats have been slowly disintegrating the carpet. It's because it's by the door. If the door's closed, they're kind of like scratching at it. Here's the yarn that I'm using. There is Kos. This is colorway 4008. It is a 62% alpaca, 9% cotton, and 29% nylon. Oh wait, not cotton, it's wool. So the core is wool, or is it nylon? I thought normally it's a cotton core. Anyway, this is the sweater, and she is beautiful, and I'm very much enjoying knitting her because it's so bright, so fun. And now with this sweater being done, I only have 2 sweaters on the needle, which is great. The other sweater is my Sunset Highway, which I've not put any work on recently, and that is okay. Oh, I did buy some yarn. So I do have a huge Flock Seattle haul, but I am not going to go through that. If you're interested in what I purchased at Flock, please check out my Flock vlog. At the end, I go through everything that I purchased and what I plan to knit with everything. And yeah, so I'm not going to do it again. But I did visit, we have a new like secondhand craft store. And so I took my mom there, and they had what I'm pretty sure is Pletulopi. So it is pencil roving. And what are you? Oh, I also bought this just to check if this works for my sewing machine, because then I can go back and buy more, because I think they're 25 cents each. I also bought fabric because I would like to make a skirt out of this. And it was $3. So these guys were each $9, which, if that's the case, I don't think I got a good deal. But that's okay. So, because they were 3 ounces and they did $3 for 1 ounce. But regardless, my plan is to make some sort of colorwork sweater with these. Now this is definitely itchy, so I think I might hold a Surrey, and I might just get a white. I think I'm gonna get a white Surrey, because I think the white is gonna work well with, because you can see even on the pink that there's a lot of white there, and I think the Surrey will soften it up a lot. But how fun, right? What a good find. They had other colors, but I liked getting, and they only had one of each, so I liked the idea of just getting all of the neutrals and then one of the pops, and I thought the pink popped the best with everything. So that is the yarn that I purchased, rehomed, we could say, and I'm very excited for it. Not as excited as I am for my flocked things that I purchased. So with that is everything that I've been working on. It's been a very, very hot summer. Oh my gosh, you can even see, like, I washed my hair today and it already looks gross because I am sweating. I am still really inspired with Herkyed, which is hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. I have been reading up a storm. I just finished a nonfiction book called Why We Marched, and it was about 12 women within the USA suffrage movement, so women that you may not have heard about or known about. So there was one who, she was like an artist or an illustrator, but she then became like a suffrage cartoonist. There was another one who did a biking tour, and so her goal was to not like go in with any money, but only to raise money. So that was interesting. And then of course you had like Susan B. Anthony, Sigourney Truth, and there was another chapter that was about like Mormon women and their right to vote. So it was just really interesting, and like how you had these separate groups, because like you don't really approve of like multiple wife kind of deal, but then a lot of Mormons already had the right to vote. So it was just like really interesting to listen to it. I started it on the plane and then I finished it this morning, so checks off 1 of 5 nonfiction books I need to listen or need to read. I typically listen to my nonfiction books because I tend to be doing something else instead of sitting there reading them. So yeah, Flock was wonderful. I flew, oh my gosh. So to get to Seattle, I think at this very moment, there are no direct flights from Columbus. So you have to connect into O'Hare is the main one. So our flight was so early. I got pretty much no sleep because the cats would not calm down. They just kept having the zoomies and just meowing and meowing and meowing, and it was frankly awful. So I got I think per my watch it said that I got 2 hours of sleep, and I even question that because it could give me no stats about the sleep, which maybe because it's only 2 hours. So then I picked up my friend. I picked her up at 4 a.m. So I was awake at 3:15 in the morning, having gone to bed at midnight or like 12:30 or something. On my way there was a homeless person in the middle of the road, which was very interesting because it was a homeless person and a runner at 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning on a Friday. So I had to just, be careful, always mindful that there could be people in the road. Picked her up, got to the airport, and we got our bags checked and pretty much immediately boarded the, oh my gosh. So we got drinks at Starbucks because that's like the only coffee you can get inside of the airport. I got my London Fog and she got something else, and we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And we're like, where the F's my London Fog? I'm like looking at my watch. I'm like, we've already been boarding, which is fine. Like I normally don't bother to get there. I am not one of those people that goes to check if my gate is there. That is not me. The gate is there. It's fine. And we're like looking and like, what the heck? And then so we're like gonna ask them, and then this woman's like, I think there's a London Fog here. And I'm like, what the, oh my gosh. And so my London Fog was there the whole time. Whatever, fine. So then we get to the gate and we are the last people to get on the plane. Again, it doesn't really, I don't get stressed out by that. It's fine. It was just we were behind the people that they were then putting on from standby, and so there's always that like, ooh, I hope they didn't give my seat away, but it was fine. So we get to O'Hare. We meet up with my mom. We make it all the way there. We ride the train in, and our Airbnb was right next to the convention center, up a stupid steep hill, like such a steep hill. And luckily we could put our bags away in storage. So we did that, and then we walked around. We went to the market, did the market, did way more of the market than I did last time, because last time I think I was only there for the market being open for an hour. So did that, went to the yarn store that was inside the market. Later on, a couple days later, we went to the other yarn store, immediately bought something for a friend. And we had got pizza at this pizza place that's by the gum wall that I'd wanted to go to last time. It was fantastic because we were there on a Friday, like right when it opened. We got happy hour pricing, so that also was lovely. Flocked itself was fantastic. Again, it took me the whole 2 days to get through all of the vendors, and we listened a little bit to the talks. We went to Skalka again, which is the place I went to last time for like this like bread boat with ricotta in it. Oh my god, it's so good. Oh, it's amazing. I need to find a place that does it here, or a recipe, because it's so dang good. So the 2 days at Flocked, bought so much stuff that you can see in the vlog. And then we went to Fremont, so we saw the troll, walked around. It was very hot. Not as hot as it is here, but in Ohio we have aircon. Everywhere's got aircon. In Seattle, like, only one of the restaurants we ate at had aircon. We ate at a Thai place. The Thai place was amazing, but oh my gosh, I was sweating. Like, you were just sitting in your sweat. So that was a little unfortunate. But we had such a good time. We did so much walking. You could see Mount Rainier in the background, and it's just so impressive because, like, I don't know, it's just kind of like looking at the sky and you're like, wait, is that a cloud? No, it's a flippin' mountain. It's a mountain. Ohio is so flat. We have no mountains. You see, like, nothing is in the sky other than clouds and like a plane, and birds and blimps. The Goodyear blimp is here. Planes with those banners, the advertisement banners, hot air balloons, but like no secret mountains that just show up. So it just was really cool because it did look like a cloud, but then you looked at it and you're like, no, that's a mountain. There's a mountain back there. We did go to Bainbridge Island. Unfortunately, we were not there when La Mercerie was open, so we only went to Lamb and Kid, but the longer we were there, the more things we were buying. They had so many samples to like try on, and so that was really fun. And then we just hung out at a cafe for the rest of our trip. And weirdly enough, while we were at Lamb and Kid, there was a woman who to me sounded German to me. She never actually spoke German, I don't think, but to me she looked German, and just her inflections and she kind of sounded like my mom, but just like extreme, because my mom has a German accent, which I never heard, but everyone around me can hear it. So it sounded like more extreme. And so when we were at the cafe, she was there with her family sitting next to us. And then she left and another family showed up and they were German and were speaking German. I'm like, what a weird thing to have numerous, because even at Flock, we were hearing people speaking German. Like, I don't know if there's like a big German population. I don't know if there's like a big German population in Seattle, or if it's just because of all the cruise ships that you like fly in to then take a cruise to Alaska or something. I don't know, but I did find it weird that there was so much German, especially at that cafe. That we were at that cafe for about an hour, and for like an hour I'm just like listening to German, and that's pretty rare in the United States. Like, if you're gonna hear a different language for a very long time, at least in Columbus, Ohio, it's Mexican. It's not Mexican, it's Spanish. Stupid. Mexican's not a language. It's Spanish. So you'll hear a lot of Spanish. Even in German Village, you don't really hear German spoken. And we have like a village called German Village, and the restaurants are German. And anyway, so Bainbridge Island was fun. It was just so hot. Yeah, a lot of walking. It really reminded me that I need new shoes. I'm pretty good at buying new running shoes every year, but that's the extent of it. I have not bought new shoes other than the trip to Germany, and then I bought 2 shoes, one of which I've already pretty much worn through because they became my everyday shoes. I have not bought shoes since before the pandemic. I bought Thursday boots 2020. I remember that. I bought Thursday boots in 2020, and then I have not purchased shoes since before the pandemic. And so I was wearing my Keds. I'm like, yeah, they need to be tossed. Like the rubber is dry, which is, I had to throw away a pair of Converse like a month ago because all of the rubber disintegrated, and that's what my Keds are doing. So I was really inspecting my shoes, and it's crazy looking at the amount of shoes that I have comparative to what I used to own. I think I had over 100 pairs of shoes, and I love that. And I think I'm down to like 30, which is maybe still a lot for the average person, but I'm counting like flip-flops, I'm counting winter boots, I'm counting heels for like going out and stuff, and running shoes, right? Like, I think I have 6 pairs of running shoes because I I rotate, but yeah, I need to buy that, or I need to buy some inserts for my shoes because I think they still have some life left in them. Like my white shoes have some life. They just need different soles. And then the flight back was not the most pleasant. My mom ended up having her flight canceled, so she was stuck in Seattle an extra day, but she wasn't like, she was at the airport, so she didn't really get much out of it. And then my friend and I, we flew out, we left on time, I believe. I think we left on time, but then we were, there was a ground stop in O'Hare, so we were just in a, what is that called when you're circling? Holding pattern. I was like, it's something pattern. So we were in a holding pattern for maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And then when we landed, if you've ever been to O'Hare, your taxi time is forever. So by the time we got off the plane, we're hungry. Because again, we had to leave the Airbnb at like 6:45 in the morning. We did get breakfast, but at this point, we're like, okay, we're already boarding. So we part. I go get Rocky Mountain caramel apple things, and she gets Garrett's popcorn. And then I'm walking to the gate because I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, okay, the gate's closing. The doors are closing in like 5 minutes. I get there and the doors close. And I'm just like, no. And I'm looking at I'm looking at the app, and the app is like boarding, and I'm seeing flight attendants. I'm like, okay, I think this is okay. So I go up to a flight attendant and I'm like, hey, do you know if this like boarded or anything? And he's like, no, the plane's not even here. And I'm like looking at my app, like, that's confusing because the app says the plane is here. And he's like, oh, that is weird. Maybe it's in a hangar. And I'm like, okay, because it landed several hours ago and it's sitting somewhere. This turns into hours and hours and hours and hours of delays with no information. So it was pretty frustrating. We were supposed to land at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We ended up landing at 1:30 in the morning. Considerable difference, and delays typically don't bother me. What was so frustrating about this delay was the app would update to tell you that you were boarding 30 minutes in the past. And so every time it updated, it was already in the past. And we had 4 gate changes, and every time like there was no plane. So once we're finally on this plane late, I looked out, nobody was sitting next to me, probably because they like were done and got a different flight out or something. Once we like left, so the delay was because our plane was in a hangar, and because of the storms and the ground stops, every single terminal or gate that our plane was supposed to go to, another plane would get put there. And then because our plane was still like not quite in rotation yet, it was lower on the totem pole. And so that's why they couldn't give us an updated time, because they would then assume, they would put in the system that the plane was at the gate when it actually wasn't at the gate, and then it would get shuffled to a different spot. And so they never had a good time. So it sucked. Once we were finally in Columbus, oh my gosh, and the flight was crazy. Like the storms, I was just crazy. We were a little bit away from the storms, but still seeing the lightning, like there was like a pink lightning. It was insane. And then when you're coming in, and so then our flight, instead of it taking about an hour and 10 minutes, it was double that, because we had to circumnavigate this entire large lightning thunderstorm. So that was insane to watch from the skies, because normally like I can see it from below, but it was just all over. And then when we were coming into Columbus, you could see the lightning hitting the ground, which was so crazy. Then the next day I saw that an apartment complex caught on fire. in Polaris, which is a shopping center that is north of the airport. I'm like, oh my gosh, that might have been one of the lightnings that I saw. Because like you could see it come down and it hit the ground and hit something. I mean, I didn't really see any fire, but it was definitely happening. Then when we landed, ground crew could not come taxi the plane in because of the lightning. So then we had to wait. We had to wait more. So it was just such a long, it was so much longer of a day, and I worked the next day. So my mom and my friend were not working. I was working. So I only got a couple hours of sleep, and then started work, and I was so exhausted by Friday. I ended work at 4:30 and I went to bed, or ended work at 4 and I went to bed at 4:30, and I woke up at 10 the next day. I was so tired, and I was still tired this weekend. Before this, I took a nap. We went for monthly dinner, which is a thing that my friends and I do every month. We pick a different restaurant and we go to it. And so we do dinner and brunch, alternate. And so we went to brunch today, and I ate so much food. And when I came back, I was trying to read my book, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to bed or take a nap. And Astrid took a nap with me, and it was so cute. Edivix did not take a nap with me, but he did appear once I was awake, and then he wanted to play with Astrid. So that was kind of cute. Anyway, that's what's been happening. I guess that's what my flock trip was. I potentially have another trip in a little over a month, potentially. I'm not sure yet if it's gonna happen or not. And I'm not sure how long, and that depends on if I bring my laptop or not. So maybe. I would love to, but then I have to figure out somebody to come over to check on the cats. I love having my cats, but it does stifle my get up and leave lifestyle of going on trips just laissez-faire style. I do have automated everything, so their water is they have a automated fountain that tells me how much there is and what they're drinking. Their food is automated. I have 3 different food stations for them in case one of them stops working randomly. Their litter robot is automated. They've got so many toys. The space for them to play is so much bigger than in my last apartment. So and then I have friends that come in and play with them every other day. So they're not suffering, but it is still coordinating all of that whenever I go somewhere. Because I would just prefer someone coming to see them than to put them in one of those, I don't know, what are the doggy daycare things, but for cats. Because they're just in a cage and they can't move around, they can't run around. There's all those other cats and animals, and I'm just that's probably so much more stressful than just leaving them inside the house without me being there, right? I feel like it's less stressful for them. Anyway, I've blathered on enough as it is. I wanted to keep this short, and now looking at the time, this is going to be another 15-minute video. So anyway, I hope you got some good knitting done. I hope your summer or winter, if you're in the southern hemisphere, is going wonderful. I can see that it is about to storm here, so maybe it'll cool off, or we'll just get crazy thunder and lightning because of how hot it is. Who knows? Well, I'll know in about 10 minutes. Anyway, if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, follow, leave a comment if you have any questions, or if you've been knitting, what were you knitting on? Would love to know. I was not knitting on anything, but I was drinking my Thai tea. Yummy! Bye!